Here are some book club meeting highlights.
We're going to do an icebreaker since we got some new faces. And just tell us your name, your favorite book, and if you were given the money to buy a book today, what book would you buy?
My name is Electra. All right. I missed it because you froze. What else? Our name and what favorite book?
A favorite book.
A favorite book would be, gosh, any book or
Any book.
any book. Oh, good Lord. I just read it too. All Sinners Bleed.
Oh, I want to read that.
It's really good. S.A. Cosby.
Yes, he wrote Razor Blade Tears. Have you read that one? Oh my
I read them
God.
all. Yeah. Yeah.
If you were given the money to buy a book today, what book would you buy?
Actually, the one that we're reading now. Get that one in the physical copy.
My name's Joy, and probably my favorite book is probably between Native Son and The Coldest Winter Ever, which are two totally different books.
And
a book that I would buy now, honestly, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmine. My favorite book, and I thought about it after our last meeting, but my favorite book is The Shack. That was one book that I literally was boo-hooing and feeling every emotion. So that's my number one on the list. And then the book that I could buy right now, Tanasha is going to kill me, but she has been raving because she wants to talk about it together about how does it feel. So if I could buy that book right now, that's the book I would buy.
I'm Tanasha, and I'm here in Atlanta, and my favorite book, I can't remember books I've read like forever ago, but I'm gonna say How Does It Feel again because that's the book I said last time, and all the books I've read since then just still haven't competed with that, especially the book we read last month.
Oh God.
And if I had money, I've been looking at this, like I probably would get like a series, because obviously that's a little more expensive. And I've been looking at the Rob Wright series, and I don't know if you've read those, like the horror, the Spread series. So it's kind of like an apocalyptic series. Anyway, that one I think it's like 4 books. So
my name is Angel. I have like my top 3 favorite books. The first one is The Secret Life of Bees.
I love that book.
By Zumont Kid. The second one would be The Cartel by Ashley and Joy Cuevas. And the third one would be Unwind by Neil Schroederman. Okay. I never finished the whole series, but the first book was just so good. And if I could buy a book right now, I think I would finish buying the Pretty Little Liars series. I still haven't finished buying all those books yet.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kwamik. My favorite book still is Fledging by Octavia Butler.
Fledging, yep.
And if I was to buy a book, I just bought it, which was Razor Blade Tears.
Girl,
by
let me know when you start reading it. I love that book.
Excited.
I'm reading it now. I'm on chapter 6. So
it's good. So good.
Oh my God.
It's so good. Gut wrenching.
Yeah.
It's so powerful. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's good. So
I bought it too last month.
You did?
Per your recommendation. So
Yes,
I'll get to that maybe.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I can't wait to talk to you
really
about
good. I know, right? So
It's
it's really good. I can't wait either.
All right, so I'm gonna go. I already said my name like 3 times. I'm Kiki. And I got a lot of favorite books, y'all. I really do, from all different genres. But if I had to name one, I was thinking about this when I was coming up with this question. I'm going to say The Street. It's an older book. It's by Ann Petrie. And I mean, it's a book that it's about a young Black mother who's struggling to raise her son amid, all the poverty and violence and racial issues set in Harlem in the 1940s. And unfortunately, it is still something that is tragically still relevant today. It puts a spotlight on, like, the hopelessness that is sometimes felt throughout the Black community, especially if you live in lower income type of neighborhoods. And basically everyone that is described on this street is affected by their environment. To me, when I read the book, the way the author described the street, it feels like the street, the actual pavement, is the main character. And it basically has forged all these people to become the way that they are, and they have become products of their environment. It was so beautifully written. It was gut wrenching. It did not have the happy ending I wanted it to have, which made it more realistic. It was so good. So if you ever get a chance to read it, I would highly recommend it. And then if I got the money today to buy a book today, if money wasn't an issue, I would buy Saga Volume 11, which is actually a graphic novel, but I love Saga. I don't know if anybody here, do any of you guys read graphic novels? I'm a comic nerd as well. I love comics. I love graphic novels. And
I read a couple.
yeah,
I don't read any,
Saga Volume 11.
Yeah.
Volume 11 just came out last year, and I usually go and buy them, like the newer ones, as soon as they come out. But I didn't go and buy it, and I haven't bought it yet. I haven't read it yet, and I need to get to the store to get this book because I love Saga. I've never rated any of the volumes anything less than 5 stars, and I often describe it as like a galactic version of Romeo and Juliet, with way more action. So basically, you have this man and this woman, Marco and Alana. They're from two different sides, two opposing sides. They're of two different species. They're not supposed to be together, but they get together, they fall in love, they have this baby, and now there are all these other people that are coming after them. This baby is somebody that shouldn't exist. And they meet all these different characters along the way that end up becoming like part of their family. And then you got these villains who appear on paper to be the villains, but you find yourself sympathizing with them as well. And you got enemies to friends that end up becoming part of their group as they're trying to escape. And it's just so good. It's got a lot of action. It's not for kids. Even though it's colorful, it is not for kids. It got sex and violence in it, but it is so dope. And I love the art style. So if I could get a book today, it would be Saga. Let me see what else we got here. Oh, so we're gonna jump into When the Reckoning Comes. When the Reckoning Comes, based off the title alone, what do we already know from the title? What can you infer, speculate, or predict after reading the title?
Question is finally going to be answered from the past.
Revenge.
I was just thinking about like a troubled past.
Okay.
Running away from something and it's catching up with you.
The first thing that pops out to me when I read this title, of course, is the word reckoning, right? When I hear the word reckoning, I think of like the term a day of reckoning, which basically somebody already mentioned, you'll have to, face something. So when I hear a day of reckoning, I think of a time when you'll have to deal with a situation or face some sort of hard truth, something that has been avoided until that very moment, until this day of reckoning. Reckoning, and like I think of like biblical terms, paying a debt, your final judgment, in which everyone is called to take account of the actions that they committed here on earth, in life. And then also The title is in red. It's dripping. It looks like it's dripping blood. So it makes me think that somebody's going to have to face something, and things are going to get bloody. Things are going to get messy. Now, if we take a look at the cover of the book, title included, but also, the picture that's on the cover. What do you think of the cover? Can you make any inferences? Or, once again, can you make any inferences, speculations, or predictions from the cover of the book?
It gives me like a bayou feel, like a Louisiana bayou.
Yeah, me
feel,
too.
Or Savannah area, something like that.
This book has a lot of social commentary that we can talk about. And I am getting so angry, but I'm trying to, rein that hatred in, that anger in. But in what ways, this is our first question, in what ways do you think race play into the dynamics of Mira, Jesse, and Celine's friendship? How do you think race affects their friendship?
I think it affected from the very beginning of their friendship. Even though, she's a poor white girl, she still have the privileges.
Right.
So I think even from the very beginning.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel like it's pretty central to their relationship because that's sort of kind of how they even became friends in the first place, was having to do with like the stuff that was going on in the school bus. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like so far of what I've read so far, Jesse is one of the ones that is the most affected.
Yeah.
By race in this friendship, because he feels like he has to do certain things because he has this label placed on him that as a black man, he's not allowed to do certain things. He feels like he has to do those things to prove like no one's going to tell me what I'm allowed to do or not do. Black people live in a different world than white people. We have different social norms and things, labels placed on us, and he feels like that's unfair. And if she can do it, no one in society is going to make it seem like I can't do the same thing. And that can be dangerous for him. Yeah. As a black man, boy that's going to grow into a black man, that could be very dangerous. We have to tread differently in this world than Celine would.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jesse also mentioned, I wrote this down, how he because something happened, some sort of disagreement, but Jesse had mentioned how he can be her friend, Celine's friend, and still criticize her or still be critical of her. What do you guys think about that?
I think the same way. If we're all friends like we say we are, why can't I criticize you? If you're wrong, you're wrong. You're right, you're right. Just like why you're going to criticize me? If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Right.
But Mira,
I think Mira's a bit of a people pleaser. Did anybody else get that?
Yes.
Like she doesn't want to. She doesn't want to disagree. Like you said, like it's okay to be friends with somebody and still disagree with the things that they do. You don't have to agree with everything they do. But sometimes people, especially when you're young like that, they think that you have to do and believe everything that your friends do and believe. And that's not actually true. You should still be able to be friends with somebody and still be independent of that person. You know what I mean?
Right.
So she seems like a bit of a people pleaser. Like I can't go against.
She seemed like in the beginning that she didn't want to hurt Celine's feelings. So seemed like she did. Yeah, seemed like she just didn't want to hurt her feelings.
Yeah, and I feel like she's definitely like a product of her mom because like the way that her mom acts about different communities, like you can definitely tell she's a product of her mom.
Yeah.
Right. That was one of my other questions. I'm glad you brought that up. We can actually discuss that now. Is what are your thoughts on Mira's mother so far? I know you got something to say, Imani.
I mean, I feel like her mom is very like judgmental.
Yeah.
Which is like a difficult thing for a child to deal with. But also, like, I feel like the way that it's affected Mira is like very much, I'm not going to say like poison her friendship, but like it just makes it seem like that's part of the reason that she wasn't able to stay friends or like even like assert herself in certain situations. Because she's like, I can't get in trouble. I have to like be nice to everybody, like cookie cutter clean type.
I also feel that Mira's mother holds some responsibility for Mira not speaking up when she should have about the whole Jesse situation, because her mother always told her, you can't do these type of things.
Right.
And she even tried to do the right thing and go down to the police station and tell them what she saw.
Her mom was
and her mother came in there like a bat out of hell, you know, like But I understand somewhat of where her mother is coming from based on the region and where they live. How, because I live up north, but I know how the South can be, and maybe that's her mother is probably actually a product of her environment, the way that she grew up.
Yeah,
and now she's
that's what I was gonna say too. I think her mom has some resentment also. I feel her mom has resentment because the way she grew up. So as a product of their environment. So my daughter's not going through that,
Right. Yeah. And I think this actually alludes to a lot of like PTSD that Black people have, like generational PTSD that we don't even realize we have sometimes, and it gets passed down from generation to generation. And her mother is really, I think the author did a great job at putting that on paper without so much like exposition. Like she didn't like the way she presented the mother. It wasn't like she was just spoon feeding us information, but she did it in such like a natural way to where the reader would understand. Okay, and I think we'll get more backstory probably from her mother.
But I want to know why you don't like Jesse. What did he do? He's a kid.
And you would think because he's also Black, they Black, but no. I know it's crazy. I know people like that who have like this internalized like intra racism built inside of them about their own people, like it's people like that. It has a lot to do with the things that we went through in history, and she got a bad outlook on Black men. Like, where's Mira's father? That could have a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah. Right. They mentioned that too in the story about how like she thought that her how her mom felt about Jesse was like because of her dad being there, and just because her dad was a Black dude, like she sees all Black guys in that same light as like leaving her behind. Exactly.
Yeah.
So damaging. This whole wedding thing. Why the hell would you have your plan to have your wedding at a fucking plantation and then invite your Black friend? Like, it's just in poor taste.
Right. Like, what? I'm reading that and I was like, wait a minute, what? She's like, oh, I was like, oh my God.
But
I was like, I would not be friends with her.
Right.
No.
There was actually a news story that came out about somebody doing something like that a few years back, having an event at a slave plantation. I'm like, I can't believe that people would actually even think about doing something like that.
And then the reenactment, like what?
Oh my God!
That was pissing me off.
I was like, wait a minute, what? Oh my goodness.
It definitely made me angry too, and it reminded me of this other book I read. It was by Nana Kwame Adjei-Brenyah, and like it's like a series of short stories that he'd written. And there was this one called Zimmerland, and it was like an amusement park where like white people could go to basically get out their aggressions against Black people. So they had like Black actors there at the amusement park, and they would have like these vests on that were bulletproof, and those people would be able to like shoot them with like these non-lethal guns and stuff. And it was very much giving me that.
Despicable.
Yeah.
And yeah, that story was very interesting. And it's by the same author who wrote Chain Gang All-Stars that came out last year.
Oh my God, I want to read that book so bad. I heard it's like Hunger Games almost, but like
yeah.
Yeah, I gotta read that one.
I'm not gonna quit. I'm not a quitter. But this book definitely got me like, could you hurry up? Like, I need something to keep me drawn.
Right. The author, like I told Christina earlier, I said the author is feeding a little bit of it to us at a time.
Yeah. And obviously it's a tough conversation. You know what I mean? It's a tough read in certain parts. So it's kind of like can we get past this? Like, I want to know. It's a little uneasy, you know. I can't stand this whole reenactment of like the whole slavery. Like, I wanted to throw this book. Like, are we serious right now?
Yeah.
But you know, again, it makes me want to know where we're going with this. So that's where I'm at with it. So I'm eager to finish it too. But it is a slow burn for me, definitely. So are the chapters a little long to y'all?
No, not to me. No.
You know what? Maybe because I got the small word. Maybe because I have the small word version. Like, I should have got the bigger words because I'm like, damn, it's not that. You know?
So, how do Celine and Mira differ in how they view the Woodsman plantation? Celine, I mean,
it's nothing to her.
Yeah.
She don't see it. It's nothing to her. Absolutely nothing.
She didn't care.
Yeah.
What did you say, Kwame?
She bypassed all the history about it. She just didn't care. Cause
they all did.
She just couldn't believe that you really having your wedding here at all places here. And she was not there.
At a plantation of all places, though. And then every single worker there, they're all black.
And the part where she was saying that they had so many people going there because the white people like the fact that they in this instance they had black people. They were looking down at the black people and they were what she said, serving them, and that's what they liked about it.
Yeah,
I was like, on that part. I said exactly.
Yeah,
that's why so many people are going there for that reason only.
Just for that reason only. Yep.
I liked, I at first I really liked Celine, like the background in the first, she was stuck up for them, and I just found her so socially ignorant or so obtuse. She just seemed so disconnected from reality, and it seemed odd that she made that leap. Especially these are the people that were so nasty to you too. Like they shunned you. You weren't a part of this crew. You kind of got into that crew basically because after the whole situation with Jesse, she didn't really want to be as close to them anymore. Right. And I hate people like that who's kind of about face, and then you beg them. You beg Mira to come to this thing, and how disrespectful. And then you don't come to Jesse's aid. You bet. I assume she asked Jesse to come too. She really turned me off from my feelings towards her in the beginning of the book. I just wonder what happened to make her that about face. Is it just that you want to be this social climber in this, white society?
Money.
She didn't seem, she didn't seem ingenuous when she was young. But how do you make this leap like that over, 10 years? 10 years or whatever?
Yeah.
So really disappointing. She was disappointing character.
I was giving the side eye big time.
Okay, I was more than that. I was like, why are we going? This makes no sense. You don't owe these people anything. That decision made no sense to me whatsoever in the book. I was so frustrated by it.
I agree. It is very frustrating. And I'm just was like, why do we always have to be the do-gooders? Like what? And
girl, they not.
Like Mira, I was like, she picks now. Now she want to speak up. Now she want to do something. Like
her voice, exactly.
She must be dealing with that guilt from when she didn't speak up for Jesse. But it's like these people are descendants of slave owners, and they are still very much racist. They just like they ancestors. So if they want to take their ass to a slave plantation and the slaves decide to get revenge on them, then the slaves just get revenge on them. Like, who am I to get in the way of that?
No, we can't do that. That's not right. Like, girl, shut up.
Karma. That's their karma. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
It just didn't. I mean, I just literally was like, okay, put myself in her shoes. These people were nasty to you. Yeah. They were nasty to Jesse. They're literally enjoying this reenactment bullshit. Like they're bad people. Mm-hmm. Like, and then we don't even know that they're gonna die. We don't even know that anything's gonna happen. There's no facts. We don't need to save anyone's life here, like technically, because you don't even know that these people are coming back, and like this whole ghost story thing is just a story at this point.
It's just a rumor. It was a rumor. Yeah.
It made no sense. I don't know. That made no sense. What?
I was trying to wrap my mind around it too. Like, where is this author going with this? Where
yeah.
Well, I don't know how it ends because I haven't finished yet.
Yeah,
but
you haven't finished.
The author, I'm pretty sure she put that in there to propel something else that's going to happen in the story. Because if every character in a book did everything the right way, or everything the way we would want it to be done, it wouldn't be a story. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're not gonna always agree with every character decision, but man, I understand the frustration at the end of that.
Well, we know Mira. We just did not like Mira.
I did not understand. Like, she already feels like she left these people and she doesn't really care. This isn't her home. Blah 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 blah. Right. I really was trying to dig deep and figure out, well, what is like the core reason? She just really needs to like figure out if this ghost story is true. Like, Black people don't do that. We don't investigate ghosts.
Girl.
I was like, this is classic like horror where like they do the exact thing they shouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. This is definitely a horror trope. Maybe it could just be for that reason alone that the author because it is a horror trope.
Right.
I thought she was dealing with her guilt, like I said earlier, from not speaking up more for Jesse. So this is her way of trying to speak up to save other people. But these people don't deserve it. Jesse deserved to be saved. Now, what? Y'all read it, so I don't know. So this is my prediction, or this is what I'm afraid of. They go back to try and save these fucking people, and then something bad happens to Jesse. Now that's gonna be on her if something bad happened to Jesse, and then I'm gonna fling this book across the room. If something bad happens to Jesse because she wanted to go back to save some goddamn descendants of some goddamn slave owners, I'm gonna be pissed.
And they don't like you anyway, girl.
Yeah. I also think it would be interesting if part of the book had been told from Jesse's point of view.
Yeah. More from Jesse. Yeah.
Well, we should have had this would have been a book that would have benefited from multiple point of views. Even if we got some point of views from the actual ghosts from the past.
Actually, it should have been all three of them. Mira, Jesse, and Celine. It should have been all three their point of views, and instead of just one. Or two.
My fear, and like my fears don't matter because y'all gonna be able to know if I'm right or not. My fear is if Celine really did plan this, if she actually started thinking, okay, maybe the stories are true, I'm gonna invite all my guests here for this anniversary. If something were to happen, no one would ever believe that it was ghosts. They would blame the black staff that are there for these people's murders, just like they blamed Jesse in the past. Like, so if it does happen, if the slaves get their revenge and Jesse and Mira are there, who do you think they're gonna blame? If Jesse's there when more murders take place, they're gonna remember what happened years ago when he was there and a murder took place. He's gonna be their number one suspect. Like, I just don't want that to happen. Like, I don't want him to get blamed for anything else, and it'll be Mira's fault because you dragged him back there. You know what I mean? Right. And then Celine's fault also because it's like, bitch, did you set us up? Like, it's so many different ways the story could go. Like the way I would write it, but I don't know how LaTanya is going to end this thing. So I don't know.
I thought that was interesting that yes, he's going back and saying, okay, I'm developing this, I'm trying to investigate this story. I just think I also thought it was like so hard for him. He took a job there, and like you are witnessing all this. I just cannot imagine when these people literally like threaten to kill you, put nooses on your house, and everything else, and you're putting yourself in this very vulnerable position, all for the sake of like this picture, and you need to figure out what this is. And maybe it's because but that obviously pushes the story forward. So I get the reasoning, like it pushed the story forward. But I think the side of me that's like, well, I don't know if we would really like take this extra step to investigate it. But in the story, it makes it, you know, I guess the reasoning makes sense. It's just like, oh, like the determination of these people to just save everyone is just it's just a lot.
I did put that in my notes that Jesse, he ignored a lot. He took a lot of abuse.
He did.
And you know, attacks, harassment. Even though he was totally innocent, he ignored a lot of that so that he can, you know, investigate whatever he needed to do and do whatever he needed to do as well as his livelihood. So when it got to the part when he was exposing all this evidence to Mira, I was like, oh, I'm on Jesse's side 100%. Like, I'm on his side 100%.
Yes.
What I would love, if I was writing this book, I would have made it. I would have made it so that Celine and Jesse secretly planned to get all these descendants, all their enemies here on this plantation because they actually believed in the slave ghosts taking revenge on this land, and they knew it would be the anniversary, and together they schemed and plotted to get all their enemies here and then have her disappear and leave her dumbass father there so he could be a victim too. You know what I mean? Like she go away and that the two of them is in on it and they just waiting until the clock strike midnight when it's the anniversary and all hell. That's what I would have did. I would have twisted this shit up. But I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. But that would be a great twist. Like if we find out, or if I find out that Jesse and Celine was in on this and they planned this. Let's get his enemies here because those is enemies of both of them. These the same people that he grew up with in the town who probably harassed him. And these the same people that talk shit about her because she was a poor white girl and still talk shit about her because they think, oh, she thinks she the shit now because she marrying this man who got money. So let's get them all in one place and let's just deal with it. You know? I mean, it didn't knock my socks off by any means. It didn't knock my socks off, but I love the message, the themes, the things that were mentioned in this book. So that's what resonated with me. But it was not something that would knock my socks off. It's not a favorite book of mine. I gave it a 3 stars, just like I did with In My Dreams I Hold at Night.
Oh, okay.
It was something to read. It was definitely just something to read.
Especially, like I said before in one of our other meetings, this one took a long time to finally get going. But right at the chapter, I want to say around chapter 18, it picked up for me there, and then the ending.
It didn't went flat.
Well, the ending, I didn't think the ending fell flat, but the ending is what, like it didn't start going until like the middle of the book, and then it just kept going until the end. All that stuff at the end with her seeing, like, basically getting a peek into the past and witnessing all the horrors firsthand. I liked all that stuff. So I was on pins and needles reading the last few pages of this book because the whole time I'm just like, I don't want Jesse to die. That's all I kept saying.
Same.
You have to survive.
I'm like, if he dies, I'm gonna be so mad.
Right.
I'm like, please, God, don't let him be home when they go to your house. Please.
Yeah.
Please.
Because they were
God.
Straight mob mentality mode. Okay.
Yeah.
Did it confuse anybody a little bit when it was like that bad? Like them chasing them, like about to hang them up. And I'm like, wait, I thought that was over with. Like, they're descendants, right? So,
I'm just confused. I just knew that's what they wanted to do. That's their mentality.
But what I'm saying is, how is that? So it brings us back, right? In time. That's what it's back. But now the present is where that shit doesn't even like exist anymore. So how we go to chasing 2 kids down? I feel like there was like a huge like time hop somewhere. No?
Well, remember they were angry because when their friend was killed, when the guy who owned that property was killed, they said Jesse did it. And they were still angry with him about that because he never went to jail.
So it wasn't like their ancestors and they've grown out of these people. And
so the way I perceived it, it was a blending of the two, because even like at the end when Jesse fell down, he didn't see a lot of that activity that Mira had saw. It was like the past and the present coming together the way the mobs used to run. So yeah, they were still looking for Jesse and Mira, but a lot of the vileness, the viciousness of it, it was a glimpse from the past. So it was the past and the present all blending together basically. But they were still looking for them and still hunting them down. And I don't think it's that far fetched because black people still get hung up on trees. Black people still be
and other places.
They're still doing the same shit. And I think it was to sort of like show how these people haven't come that far in history, how they are still behaving like their ancestors.
Right.
That's the way I perceived it anyway.
I like how the writer writes. But the beginning was slow. It took a minute for anything good to happen. When it did, I liked it, but it's like I don't know how to explain it, because when it comes to the subject about slavery, is touchy, and I hate reading. Yeah, it's a hard read for me because I get real mad when the part when she finds out that they were using his skin as leather.
Yeah,
I had to stop for a second, and I was like, hold up. I read the part over again to make sure I was reading it correctly. Because first I heard it, and when I'm hearing it, because I was crocheting, I was like, wait, that cannot be right. I stopped, and then I looked at the book and read it again. I was like, that was too much for me.
I said, what would you improve with this story if it was up to you?
Those people would have been floating down the river.
See, me and Christina, we would have made it so gruesome, the revenge.
There would have been women and children, your whole family floating in the water.
Yes.
It would have been, They're like, I was so looking forward to that. When they saw the guy, I swear to y'all, I was like, they're all in the river. They walked in it. They all drowned. No. And it just didn't happen. And she needed to make that happen.
Right. So I would have had that happen, like because the entire wedding party, some of them went into the woods, like the women, some of them went into the woods trying to find Celine's body so they could take pictures of it. And the rest of them was out in the woods hunting down Mira and Jesse. So
or the description of what they were gonna do to Jesse. Right. Like, y'all need to go in the water.
I would have had it be, okay, yes, all their bodies, like it would have started out with one or two bodies that you saw, and then you would have just saw like a whole flow of people floating down the river. But it would have been from their own hands. Like they was running in the woods in the middle of the night in the dark and they killed themselves. It wouldn't have had anything to do with the ghosts. It would have been like, the ghosts are here, but these people are so evil that they've caused their own demise. I would have wrote it that type of way to show, how they killed themselves trying to kill somebody else. They're trying to be so wicked that they got themselves killed. That's how I would have wrote it, and it wouldn't have been like the ghost fault at all.
I wish it was like, I mean, we talked about it, I think, a little bit last week. I wish like it was like more of a twist with Celine being missing, and like maybe Celine had drawn all these people here.
That's what I said.
To like set them up, and like she was not dead, but instead she draws all these people out into the woods to, to call a reckoning or whatever to these people and call them out for them and their ancestors or something. Like I would have liked to see like that be more literal in that way. The name of the book, like, be more literal in that way. For these evil people that are taking up this, this plantation, and it's her wedding, but she be the one that actually surprisingly orchestrated this whole thing in the back. Behind the scenes, and she's not dead or something like that. I don't know. That would have, like, I think.
Right.
That's what I was saying last week. I was like, that's what I was. Y'all had already finished, so y'all knew I was wrong. But I was hoping Celine was down. I was hoping she was down with the people, and that she had did all this shit for revenge. These people made fun of her when she was young.
Yeah.
And then they don't like black folks. So it's like she invited her two black friends to witness this along with her. And then at the end she pop out like, I did this for you guys type of shit. You know, I was hoping.
Yes.
But then it's turned into a regular fucking spousal abuse story.
Yeah.
like, okay, all right. And then pin it on the black man, which does happen. Murder somebody and then pin it on the black man.
I was angry that he killed her. I'm like, I knew he had something to do with it, but I was pissed off that he killed her. Yeah. Like, and trying to blame Jesse.
Jesse didn't want to leave. He sat on that couch, was like,
right? You know what? That would have been the end of Jesse's story. Like, cause the bitch, I'm not following you back to this plantation. No. And then she want to get back there, and then realize now all of a sudden when she get there, oh, why did I come back? Why did I think they would listen? Yeah, Mira, use this. Think, please.
Hello. Yes. Right. You are a teacher, Mira. Hello.
Right. Get your shit together. Right.
How did this book make you think or feel about the topics and the issues that the author tackled in this book?
It was really heartbreaking to know that people really went through those things. That there were so many moments where I was like, damn, we take so much for granted on a day-to-day basis. You know what I mean? And it just, I felt really bad. I really did.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
It was a tough read. I mean, that might be more why I didn't like it. Like, it was uncomfortable. It was, it just, it was just a lot.
Yeah.
It's really sad to know. And mind you, that's just a little bit in a book that we read.
Right.
That's not really, you know what I mean? So to even think like that's just a small glimpse of a description of what they went through, it just absolutely broke my heart. Like when they were talking about people being turned away from their kids. And, I could not imagine holding on to my child, never seeing them or knowing what happened to them. Your husband, your wives are being raped and pushing out people's babies and breastfeeding people's babies. And it's just crazy. So I felt horrible at certain points.
Yeah, it's supposed to make you uncomfortable. It's supposed to be horrifying. Yeah. The horrors of slavery. Yeah. And it's something that is important. It just can't be pushed to the backside of history.
Yeah.
It needs to continue to be something that people are informed about, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to erase that part of history, and people who do not know their history are doomed to repeat it. And clearly not too much has changed. Because we still see the horrors of racism today. There's a lot of nasty things that still occur. So I don't know. I think she did a good job at displaying the horrors of slavery. No, I don't know how she could write it, because I would have. She probably. I wonder how authors who write topics like this handle it mentally, because I would need
therapy.
It would have took me forever to write a book like this, because I would have had to keep stopping for my own mental health.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to write a 1-sentence review for this book, what would it be?
Great book, but not a horror book.
Okay. I think if I had to write a 1-sentence review, I would probably say, I think the author did a good job. I think she showed, I think her tone as far as handling the topic of slavery was done with respectfully, and that she really handled because I think this story has themes of generational trauma, especially since it was talking about the past and the present, especially since Mira had to deal with, come to terms with that part of her past. I think the themes have something to do with generational trauma. So I would say that, this book, she did a good job with respecting the history and dealing with the topic of generational trauma and generational wealth, if you really think about it. How those rich, white, wealthy people behaved in the past, and how
They behave in the future.
It wasn't too much different than how their descendants behaved in the present. So something along those lines. What would you rate this book? I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 3. 2.5.
Yeah. 2.5, 3. Yeah. I'm so glad you finished, Kiel. I'm so glad we're all done with this book. We can put it to bed.
Yeah.
It was good. It served its purpose.
Yeah, I'm glad we're done too. I second that. I was ready. I was like, damn. Like I don't like it when I dread reading a book and it was just like, all right, I gotta finish reading it.
I never want anybody to feel that way. Like if you're having a hard time reading a book, don't feel like you have to finish just for the book club.
I wanted more. I like to see where it's going. I'm not a quitter.
Yeah. I'm a big advocate. I'm a big advocate.
Did you like reading it, Christina? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't mind reading it, but like I have so many other books I want to read that when you read a book that's just not, and you're like, damn, I could have read. You know what I mean? But it's okay though because it's a learning experience. I'm figuring out what I like and what I don't like. Like it's okay, you know. You're not gonna know until you read it. So I mean, there's no way to really avoid that. You're never gonna know if you like something until you read it, and you're not gonna like everything you read, and I get it. And I really try hard not to not finish a book. That's not my thing, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's easier when it's a good book, though. You know, it was something to read.
I give a book like 50 to 100 pages.
Yeah.
It's not grabbing me.
Yeah.
Please keep in mind that these are just highlights from our book club meetings. These aren't the book club meetings in its entirety. If you'd like to get in on the conversation and get in on the fun, then please consider joining the book club. You can comment down below or send me an email if you're interested in joining.